Released in 1989 on Nirvana's debut album Bleach, Negative Creep stood out as both the most aggressive and the most introspective track. It was Kurt Cobain laying himself bare, calling himself a distorted, negative presence, a howl of despair and sarcasm. I am the negative creep. The lyrics repeat a single line: "Daddy's little girl ain't a girl no more." The song's narrator embraces his monstrous outsider identity, a total rejection of family roles and societal norms. This was Kurt's rebellion against masculinity, conformity, and expectation. To Kurt, grunge was never a style or a genre. It was noise made of emotion. Joy, rage, confusion, all crashing together in distortion. Negative Creep was the sound of a young man trusting only in his scream as he waded through the chaos. Live, the song became even more volatile than in the studio. Kurt would snarl into the mic, his body arched, almost melting into the sound. It wasn't a performance. It was a mind on the verge of collapse, laid bare. A negative creep was the part of Kurt he couldn't reconcile with the world. If he couldn't be accepted, he would reject first. If no one understood him, he'd stop trying. In choosing rejection, he may have been trying to protect himself. The song doesn't shy away from heaviness. Its sound is brutal, abrasive, painful. And yet listeners connect with it. Why? Because Kurt's scream isn't just emotion, it's existence. Emotions fade, but existence, even if broken, remains. Negative Creep is one of the few songs where Kurt names himself. Usually his lyrics are abstract, layered in metaphor, but here he calls himself the creep, loud and direct. There's no hiding, just confrontation. Ironically, it was never a regular in live shows. Maybe it felt too raw, too heavy, but for those who know the song, it might be the truest reflection of who Kurt Cobain was at his core. By the early 90s, the word grunge was becoming trendy. But at its core were sounds like this: unrefined, unpolished, real. Negative Creep was Kurt's first thrown punch at the world, his unfiltered noise. This wasn't a protest song, it was an affirmation, an acknowledgement. I am broken, I am misunderstood, and yet I'm still standing here. Kurt wasn't pleading, he was declaring. The album Bleach captured Kurt before he became Kurt Cobain. And among its tracks, Negative Creep was the most primal, the most human. Less melody, more instinct. Less poetry, more roar. It was raw, before calculation ever entered. The song wasn't aimed at anyone. It didn't need to reach anyone, but it couldn't be stopped. Within that contradiction, grunge was born, and Negative Creep was its first prophecy. Loudness hiding silence. Some fans call this Kurt's most honest song. It needs no elaborate metaphors. It doesn't have to be understood. It simply wants to prove, I was here. Negative Creep was one of the first shards he threw into the world. It wasn't fully formed, but it was already sharp. That shard would go on to cut and comfort an entire generation. Grunge began here. This distorted scream would soon become a voice heard around the world. In the next episode, we trace the rise of Smells Like Teen Spirit, the single track that would change everything and turn Kurt Cobain into a myth. Kurt Cobain's presence still lives on in the hearts of countless fans around the world. If this video has brought you closer to his life or his music, please consider liking and sharing it so that his voice can reach someone else too. Even a small action like that can help carry his spirit into the future.